welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be grooming little Bella here. She is a Yorkiepoo. Yorkiepoos are a cross between a Yorkshire Terrier and either a toy poodle or a miniature poodle. Because they are hybrids, their traits lean towards either parent, but they generally do come at a certain size between 5 and 15 pounds and standing about maximum usually about 10 inches tall. So stay tuned. I'm going to go through step by step on how to groom a Yorkiepoo, with Bella being my little model. I have done all the bathing already and we're going straight into the cutting with this episode. Bella typically comes between 4 and 5 weeks for her groom. The groom she does receive normally is a teddy cut. This is a 10mm body and a 90mm leg with a nice rounded face and long tail and long ears. She comes this often because her parents like to keep on top of her. She's such a cutie and is really good. You can tell how she just sits there and lets me do all the groom. Reasons for her to come so often is to make sure that all her skin and coat is healthy, making sure she's kept on top of. With the grooming at home, we do advise her parents to brush her out at least once a day. If not once a day, do 15 minutes every other day. This helps keep the fur in good condition. Prior to this recording, we did put little Bella into the bath. We do a free wash bath each dog. This removes the environmental debris such as dust, dirt and pollen from the coat. The second wash would be for the body oils. These build up on the skin and make the coat feel very greasy. And then the third wash is just for the scent and texture, because we use a high quality shampoo that lets them smell like they've been in a spa and makes the coat very soft. We leave it on for about 4 minutes, well 5 minutes sometimes, just to ensure that all the hair is clean so that it stands up and it straightens very nicely, so that we could do the teddy cut without any weight on the coat itself. As you can see, I've been using the 10mm on the body just to make sure that I'm using the slicker to brush all the fur up, and then I'll keep repeating this until I'm happy with the final result with the coat, making sure that it's not got any lumps and bumps and it's all the same length all over. So this is Bella. Bella is a beautiful little girl who comes often. She comes every 4 to 5 weeks, don't you think so? Yes, you do. So what we do on Bella is we do a 10mm on the body, which is the blue comb attachment. Yeah. And then we do underneath the belly and under the arms a 6mm, which is purple. And then on the legs we do the lighter purple, which is the 19mm. And that gets the nice teddy look, because that's what Daddy likes, and she looks so cute with it. So what we do is just go all over the body like this. She's such a good girl. And always comb or brush upwards so that you get every single bit of hair like this. So it's all even at the end. So what you don't want is hair that's been stuck down, you finished off, and at the end of the groom you notice that the dog has lots of long bits. So always use your best friends, which are your silkies or your combs, depending on what you'd like to use, just to brush that hair upwards so that the comb attachments or the blades, if you decide to use blades, you're more than welcome to use blades. So like a 10mm comb attachment is like a 4 FC, and that's 9.5 mil, so it's very similar. Or like if we was to do one up, which will be the 13mm, which we normally do, that would be a 3 1/4 blade. So I just feel like you get more of a fluffy texture with your comb attachments than you do with your blades. So we use them more often. So now we've finished the body. See? There we go. So now we've finished the body. What we're going to do is go into the legs. Again, change your comb attachment to the 19mm here. And then I've already brushed her out already once. So what we do is just brush all the hair on the paws upwards. Brush the hair all the way up. all the way around. And you want it looking like this, where there's no curls or knots or anything in the way of the blade gliding through. Or the contact. You're a very good girl, aren't you? So can you see the difference between these two legs? In a second I'll show you. When I've finished brushing up. Here you go, princess. So if you notice the difference, this one's I've brushed out and this one I haven't. Well, I've done it once, but not before the actual clipping. So I want it nice and fluffy and no knots, no curls in there. And then what we do is we get our 19, pick the foot up from behind, and it kind of straightens the foot out for you. And we take all that off, all the way around. So you pick up the foot, good girl. And we go down, and we follow that foot all the way down to the bottom. Just to correct I'll wiggle it out a little bit, because sometimes they like to snatch it in like this. So you just wiggle them out and they relax. Wiggle them out and they relax. Just gets that better finish on your grooms. Princess. And what you want to be doing there is do it all the way around. So if you notice, I'm putting my fingers under her armpits and then helping guide her foot around without hurting or pulling. I'm just using the muscles that are here and the bone structure just to push forward a tiny smidge and push up, and then you're just going with the actual anatomy of the dog and you're not just pulling their arms out. You'll notice that I don't grip them. I have my fingers open at all times. I use my hands like this just as a guide, and then I will use my thumb just there just to help. But if she was to fight me and pull it back, I just go with her. I don't pull against her, I go with her. Just make sure that the dog doesn't get injured. Obviously you have your bigger dogs such as your Huskies, German Shepherds, Golden Retrievers. They all do like to pull paws off it, especially when you're doing nails. It's up here now. Especially when you're doing nails. They don't like you touching the paws, so they will pull them away. So that's a bit more tricky. You try to make sure you don't let go. Because if you let go, then you think they've won. So I tend to go with the pull. So you see her now, she's pulling it away from me. I wiggle it forward, she'll open back up. Wiggle it forward, she'll open back up. So it's just a constant wiggle. Again, you pick that paw up. Can we have your paw, baby girl? Thank you. Brush all the hairs up. And again, good girl. Just brushing all the hairs up. And what we want to be doing is making sure there's nothing standing out. At the end, I will go over with my scissors. And once that is done, I will come back to you. Because I think there's someone who's just about to come through the door. So yeah, keep tuning. Sorry about that. So yeah, welcome back. So we are now just finished the two front legs here and here. Like I said, I'll go over that with a scissors at the end. But what we want to be doing is making sure that all the legs are the same length. This is kind of a cheat way of doing it. A lot of people do hand scissor legs. But when you're in a fast-paced salon, you've only got a time crunch to make your best friends or your comb attachments, especially if you want them big, long, teddy legs. Because I could be studying for hours just using scissors, trying to get the same effect that I can get from a comb attachment. So yeah, again, like I did before, I lifted all the hair up, and then I pick up, turn around just to be able to see better. So I pick up the back here, pick it up, and I just pick forward a tiny tidge. And then when I squeeze this bit here, not hard, mine, just kind of puts the foot flat so I can get around this curve here. There we go, baby girl. And then we lift all this up again, like I said, it's all about lifting it all up, making sure you get it all out, and then taking it down again. Like so. Just picking up them dead legs, making sure I get all around this paw. Just make sure you get the back as well, and then the side. And the back here. So that just sets out my scissoring for later on. So that when it comes to doing the scissoring, I'm not here for ages just trying to scissor every single little bit of hair off it. All I need to do now is just scissor off whatever is hanging over. It saves you so much time and so much effort, and you still get the same results as you would do if you was just to scissor the full legs down. I hope you can hear through this, the clippers. There we go, princess. So like I said again, we want to be lifting it all up. Like so. Can you see the difference between this leg here and this leg here? Let's move all the hair out of the way. So all this needs to be like this, nice and straight down. And like I said, I'm using a 19, which is pretty long for a dog's size. And all we're doing is taking that off. Normally I would do like a 16, especially if I've done a 10 or a 6mm on the body. I tend to do just 16 on the legs so that the balance is a lot better. But I think she looks cuter with a bit longer leg. Like so. Like I said, I don't squeeze, I don't grip. I literally just pick up and use the palm of my hand to lift up that foot naturally. So I get all the way around. Like so. Again, always make sure you constantly picking the hair up, because it can just literally pull down. As soon as I put this blade down, it all drops back down. So what I want to make sure I'm doing is getting all that hair sitting down off. Good girl. You're getting tired. Should we give you a minute? Yeah, okay. She's an old girl. Let's give you a minute then. She's had a nice little relax now. So what I'm going to do is just going to pick up the top of these legs and get my 10 that I did on the body. And what I'm going to do is just pull it down and flick it off at the top of the legs. This will help the blending of the legs look more seamless and more natural. Again, pick up the back of the legs as well. And what you want to be doing is coming down here to the back of the tail, around the bum, and kind of just in the middle of the back of the calf, at the back. You want to be blending all that in. So to blend, you just pull and flick wherever you want to go. So you're flicking at the top of the legs here. So it will all blend in nicely. Can you see? It's just flicked off into the leg. We do this because it's two different lengths meeting, and if we didn't do that, it would just look like a shelf. So we kind of flick it off to make sure it looks more natural and more seamless and less choppy. More blended, really. Just going to go backward under the belly, just to make sure that all this is nice and even. What's up, princess? Shimano, are you tired of me talking? Are you? She's used to me having my headphones on and singing to her. Aren't you, princess? You are, you're a good girl. So from this point now, you can sit down, that's fine. From this point now, I need to get my nail clippers and my scissors. My favourite nail clippers, honestly. I hate the original nail clippers. It's just so hard on my hands. Where these are like just scissors. Can you see? can get these from places like, where did I get this one from? The Range, in the pet section. I think about £4. But honestly, I've had them 2 years and I had a pair before that for another 2. Great. No point spending loads of money on things like that you don't need. Such as the big ones that 9 out of 10 don't really cook that well. Okay, princess. Yes, you're so gorgeous. Are you going to stand up for me? Good girl. You're going to go over there. So now I'm going to go and do the pads and the nails. So what we do, my flirty blade does everything. So I'm going to use the flirty blade, which is underneath the comb attachments, and just shave out the back of the paw pads. Just pick up a foot like this. You don't dig into the paw pads because you can cut the dog. So what I do, I kind of skim between the little toes, between the pad, and what you want to do is make sure that all that pad is clear from hair, stops them from slipping on the floor. It gives you good visual if the dog has injured feet. It also helps the sweat glands because dogs sweat from the paws, if you didn't know that already. And it helps them cool down because it's the only place on the body that the dog will actually sweat from. So if you ever get like a big dog and you can smell like popcorn when you're sitting next to your dog on the sofa, 9 out of 10, it's just a sweaty feet. So like here, all this is out now. I know, princess, I'm sorry. And what I do is go through the nails. So the pads first, then I take off the nails. Her nails get done so often and she goes on so many walks, I don't think she needs much off them. But what we tend to do, I could show you on a separate video, is we make sure we can see the wick from the below the actual nail. A lot of people say you need to look for the wick at the side. If I did that, I'll be like, I won't be able to see. So what we do instead is we take a little bit off at a time. If it's a tiny little nail. If it's a bigger nail, you can possibly just take off the hook. So where the wick ends, the nail will start hooking. So 9 out of 10, as long as you get in the middle of that hook, it's fine. And then you can slowly retrieve yourself, gently and slowly. And then as soon as you see, say that's the nail there, there's a little black dot, don't go past the black dot, because that is the wick. So just do these nails and these pads. And once I finish, I'm going to give her a little rest, because it's a lot for her to be stood up all the time. Yeah, I know, princess. And then I'll get back to you when I am rounding the feet off. As you can see here, this is a paw before we cut them. I use a slicker brush to pull it up. Good girl. And then get my 30 blade here. And then all we do is gently take off the top layer like this. You don't dig into the paws. So if you dig into the paws, you could injure the dog. I know, princess. Come on then, stand up for me. 1, 2, 3, up. Good girl. Again, slowly pull the foot down, pick it up. You don't want to be pulling the feet because that's when they start rocking them off you. And all I'm doing is just literally slightly tapping in between these toes, just to get all that ming and all the hair away from the paw pad. And it helps them to stop slip on the floor as well, which is a good thing, especially for older dogs, because if they slip, they tend to get injuries, don't they, princess? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Are you gonna come around here? Let me do your toenails. So we're gonna do our toenails now. So when I was saying before, these ones not as short, can you see? So what we do is tend to take off a little bit of a corner like this, and then underneath there's a little bit of a black dot. That means the wick is going to be there, so we don't do any more than that. So I take off the little bit of the hook again and again. There we go. Black nails are the hardest, so I tend to tell people to use the hook for a bit of clear mind, because a lot of people do panic when it comes to black nails because you can't see the wick from the side. But like I said, I'm not one who does that. I just go for, if it's a dark nail like this, I go for the little bit of a hook and I go in between it And then once I've done that, I will look to make sure that the nail is at the width. There we go, Princess. You're a good girl, aren't you? You are. So now we've got the nails and the pads all gone out. Good girl. Yeah. What we want to do is use our scissors and round it off. So, use scissors. I do have some curved scissors and smaller scissors, but I use large scissors because it's quicker and easy for me, so I do use curves as well. We pink this up a little bit more, like that. So I'm not picking a leg up, so make sure that I'm eye level with them, so I'm not literally ragging her legs to see the roundness of the paws. So I use these just for show for you all. Pick up the foot like this. And what we want to do is take off all that's hanging over off, because we don't want it mopping the floor. Again, all the way around. There we go. And follow that round. And when we put it on the back of down, I will lift all the paws and the legs up together. Use my large scissors. What I do, I just skim around, making sure I've got everything off that's hanging over. Follow the curvature of the legs. And this is the only scissor work other than the face that I do, is just skimming the remains of the legs. Like so. Okay. Oh, baby go, thank you. Again, always push up. Skimming. Just get everything the same length. All you're doing is skimming that tiny little bit of hair that's left over any other, to ensure that the hair is nice and flush. So what you don't want is a gust of wind. As soon as the dog walks out, a big bit of hair sticking up. Thought this would be a better angle. So, like again, pick the back leg up, lift this up with your brush. What I use is nail here. Can you see the nail? And I just fan out around with a curvature around the paw. This will let me have a nice teddy look for a paw at the end. So I use the nail as a guide here, and I skim over all the paw. Anything that's hanging off, anything that shouldn't be there, I skim over it. And that makes a nice little, pour it, baby girl, panda paw. I call them because they look like little panda feet. You can see, that's how they look at the bottom. And then we use this and we bring it up again and just get rid of some of them like this. I'll show you what this one looks like at the end. Once I've blended it all back in, like I said before, use your slicker brush. Always use your slicker brush to bring it up. Your slicker brush is your best friend, especially if you're trying to make teddy feet. With anything really. What you want to do is make sure the prepping of the dog is top priority, because if your dog's not prepped properly, your cut's going to look a bit weird. Isn't that right? So yeah, that one's a finished look. I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to do that on all the other 3 feet. So there we go. So you see how nice that sits. Obviously I need to take this bit off here and then sort the tail out later, but that's the idea. So I'm going to do the other foot now. So pick it up again, and what you're going to do is brush all this up out of the way. We want to be taking all this off here. Anything that's going over the paw pad, take it off, because we're going to round the feet off anyway. It's okay, baby girl, it's okay. What we do now is brush all this up here. Use the nail as a guide and arch our scissors around just to skim off anything that's hanging over that our little panda paw will need. So I always put it down so I can see, and push it back up, pick it back up, and then again go around. Right, so sorry, I dropped the phone. And then what we want to be doing is pulling all this fur back up, all up, all up, all up, and then just taking off the slightest bit so you can see with the sun all the way around. It's easy when she's stood up, but like I said, she gets tired easy. So let us sit down most of it. And we just want to skim off anything that's hanging over on here, like that. And then round it off at the bottom. Oh, a little bit there. And then what we want at the final is like a little teddy paw, like a bear paw. Always brush up. Anything hanging over like these two bits here, we want to skim them off. I know they're tiniest little bits, but they make such a difference at the end. You gonna stand up, sweetie? 1, 2, 3, stand up. There we go. Oh, turn around. And now this bit is just to make sure this is level. So we want to make sure that all this is all matching. This is why I use my larger scissors, because they go straight down the leg. So there's a lot less of me using my scissors. And then this is what we want at the end. Get anything that's hanging over. Perfect. So I'll just go over it a few more times and make them all match. And that's her feet and her body done. We're just gonna do your face now, aren't we, on your tail? Yeah. So to do a tail, I will leave that to the last. Ah, sweet pea. So what we want to be doing is making sure this has been cleared out for hygiene reasons. She tends to get a couple of knots in the tail because she's a happy dog. She likes to wag it a lot and it's a pretty long tail. So what we do is just make sure that all these knots are out. I do dry, once I've got out of the bath, I dry the tail under the dryer whilst brushing, so it gets most of the knots out there. And it just helps the tail sit nicely. And it kind of, like you get a blow dryer at the hairdressers, kind of does the same thing on dogs' ears and dogs' tails. It kind of flattens them so it looks like they've been straightened. So like I said, I've brushed all the tail out, and what we want to be doing is taking the tiniest bit off. So what I do is just take the stuff that kind of starts curling. I use my thumb as a guide, just to let you know before I do it, the end of the tail is here. So you always can feel the end of the tail with your thumb. She likes a long tail, so I tend to just take that bit off like this. I kind of trim up these bits here that have gone a bit wild, so it sits nicely. And then we drop the tail. We wiggle it. Again, brush that tail out, and we want to start that fan off. So wherever I've just cut it down, we want to pull it out. Don't rag it out, because obviously the dogs don't like touching the tails. Ooh, there we go, sweetheart. And what we want to be doing is going from the top here and work our way down and round it off at the end. And then we need to make sure that all this here, top of the tail, once the tail up like this, what you don't want to be doing is having a big bit of hair sticking out here. So what I tend to do is put the tail, under the legs, not the tail, under the tail. Anything that's sticking out here, I get my curved scissors and I just skim it. Just so when she does have a tail up later on, it just looks nice. It doesn't look like I've missed bits. Here we go, princess. There we go. Let's do your face now, princess. Are you going to sit down? Are you going to sit? No? So now we're going on to the face. Like I said, I've already brushed all this out under the dryer. These are just, needs a little bit more combing out, making sure that there's no knots that I've missed. She's got beautiful long ears. Always brush the face upwards to get the nice round look. Forward. That's another thing, if you get knots, just pinch the knot with your fingers so you're not pulling the hair on the dog. So I brush it all forward, and she has another 19 on her head. So I go this way with my 19. A lot of groomers don't. A lot of groomers might think that's a bit weird because you tend to go one up from the legs. But I like my head to be really, really short, but still looking full. So pull all this forward and get all that off. Just be careful that you're not getting the ears. She has beautiful long ears. I will tuck the ears underneath with my fingers here, just so that I've got hold of them. I go each side and I skim off like we did with the legs, skimming off the ears like so. Again, brush it all forward. You can't brush enough. The more you brush, the better your dog will be. It's okay, princess. It's okay, put your head down. Bringing it all forward like so. You just want to get all that hair off. At the top of the ear is the hardest bit because you don't want to be taking any of the actual ear off. So like I said, just skim that down like so. I do lift the ears up and I skim down here as well. So I take the cheeks. This helps me get a nice rounded face on my dogs. I'll have to finish this in a minute. Got a dog coming in. Sorry about that. I had a customer. So bring all of it forward like so. Esme, shh. Bring this forward as well. We use our 19 and just skim off the side of the head like that. Just helps bring it round and more of a rounded shape. At this point, I pick up the ears and I put the ears in the noose just to tie them away so they're not in the way. Don't we? Yes, we do. Whatever I've done on the body, I do under the chin as well. So, that's a nice, pretty nice big face. So I do my 10. Essie bed. Sorry. Esme likes to bark at new dogs now. I'm trying to maintain. She's only a pup, so she likes to shout at everyone. So I use my 10 and I skim it up at the bottom here, up the face like this, just to get the bulk off here so she doesn't have a double chin. And then up the lip. You're okay. You gonna sit? Sit. Good girl. So what I want to do now is bring it all forward, like so. All of this forward. Girlie, stop barking. Use our scissors. And we want to get the corner of the eye here to match up to the bottom of the chin. So it all blends in together. So the bottom of the chin, bring that up and around. She's got beautiful eyelashes, so what I don't want to be doing is quit. No, sorry. Sorry, just putting my girls in the bed because they're being a bit silly and playing, and she's distracting my little girl. Oh. going? Distracting you? They are. Forward. And what we're doing is bringing all this from underneath, upwards, just so it all marries up. And we want to clear those eyes so she can see longer. She does have a bit of a long head today. If anyone comes at me in the comments saying, why are you using such big scissors on the face? I just feel more comfortable because there is multiple dogs in the salon. And I feel like any slight movement, the dog is going to whip round. So any slight noise, where this, because it's that long, it's not going to poke them in the eyes if they whip round that quick. So I tend to use these just around the eyes because there's no chance I'm going to hurt the dog with such big scissors. It's the smaller scissors that I feel could potentially injure an eye if the dog was to whip round. So you see how I'm holding her, I'm just literally using my fingers and putting it in between her jawline here, and using the neck noose I'm holding, and literally just holding her, keeping her still, managing her head so that she's not whipping around every 2 seconds. And I don't rag her back, all I do is move with her. Girlies, stop now please. You're being very loud considering you've been really good all this time. So again, always use your comb or your brush, bringing them hairs closer. You're moving so much today, sweetie. Eh? Are you having a good dance on the table with your head? At this point, I'm just marrying it all up into the middle. So I'm going to use my little ones now just to make it more of a curvature, because obviously using straights, sometimes you don't get that curve as well as you do if you had your little curved scissors. Because she has a bit of a straight coat, her coat sits weird, so you always have to keep going over it. Where if you had a curly coat, it'd be a lot easier to use. Stop her good to go. Bring all this forward. And what you want to be doing now is the eyes here, we want to clear these eyes. So with your smaller ones, you just get into the corners and take out the one just at the bridge here, at the end near the eyes. That's what you want to be taking out. Again, always brush up, just to make sure you're getting all the hair out the eyes, so that she can see. Yeah. So at this point, I lift up the cheeks, like this. Oh, there we go. Like that. Match all this up with the bottom of the chin, and slowly work my way up, just to get that nice little rounded face. Again, you can't use too much of your come here. I know you're stressed because the dogs are shouting at you. I know. I'm sorry. So you want to be taking all this up and around and matching it all together, so blending it in nicely. Usually, so anything past the nose, we take off. So when she's drinking, it's not going to go all over. Easy, easy. Bring it forward. Anything that's hanging over, take it off. Struggle to get them to settle again. Stop, it's okay. So this is why I say to people, please don't come before a texture, And this is why your groomers ask you not to come until you get here, because once the dog gets unsettled, sometimes it's very difficult to calm them back down. Where she's actually not that bad, but some of the dogs, they will kick off. You're okay, princess. Let me see. Head up. It's okay. Got a little bit left. There we go. Let's take this off. There we go. Let me see you. Good girl. I'm sorry. I know. You got distracted, I know. You've been such a good girl. You have. You've been beautiful. You have been such a little model today, haven't you? Huh? Been such a little model. You have, baby girl. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. There we go. Let's pop your ears down. And then left over at the bottom of the chin. Sometimes when you there we go. And go over the top of the head. So it all matches in nicely. The back. Well, we're finished. Are we? Yeah. Remember guys, subscribe, like and press the little bell at the bottom.